Ladies and gentlemen, every single person on this planet wakes up with the same gift, 24 hours. That is the one thing that does not discriminate, rich or poor, strong or weak, happy or sad. You and I, we all get 24 hours. No one gets extra, no one gets less. It is not about how much time we have. It is always about how we choose to use it. Every successful life is built on a 24-hour schedule. What you do with yours creates your future. Let that sink in. No one is winning at life because they got more hours in their day. They are winning because they are making better choices with the same hours. This is where people go wrong. They think success is about resources. It is not. It is about resourcefulness. What are you doing with your time when no one is watching? That is the real scoreboard. You could spend hours comparing yourself with someone else, or you could spend those hours building your own path. You could scroll, binge watch, complain, or you could write, read, learn, train. Same time, different use, and that difference is what builds the gap between regret and results. You have to realize that your 24 hours are sacred real estate. If you treat them casually, life will treat you casually. Think about the people you admire, athletes, creators, leaders. They did not wake up with special powers. They just decided to treat time like a treasure chest and not a trash bin. This is where it gets serious. Most people live like they have forever. They delay dreams. They procrastinate purpose. They make someday their strategy. But someday is a lie. Someday becomes never. If you are not using today intentionally, you are already behind. And let's talk about distractions. They do not just steal time. They steal your future. Every time you say just 5 minutes and give in to something meaningless, you are robbing your future self of progress. Do not be fooled by comfort. Comfort zones are beautiful prisons. They look nice, but they lock your potential. So what does it mean to use your 24 hours wisely? It means setting clear priorities. It means cutting things that do not serve your growth. It means saying no to things that do not align with your future. It means showing up even when you do not feel like it. Because feelings are temporary, but discipline builds legacy. Your 24 hours include rest too. This is not a speech about hustle 24/7s. It is about intentional living. Rest, recharge, but make sure your breaks are not your lifestyle. Rest is a reset, not a retreat. Some people confuse being busy with being productive, but filling your hours with noise does not mean you are moving forward. Progress requires focus, and focus requires a plan. Start with the basics. What do you want? Why do you want it? What can you do today right now that moves you 1 inch closer? That inch matters. Every step counts. Big changes are built on small, consistent decisions. You cannot afford to treat your time like spare change. Treat it like gold, because one day you will look back and realize it was everything. Do not trade your potential for comfort. Do not trade your purpose for distraction. Do not live like time is unlimited. Live like every second counts, because it does. Time does not wait for motivation, it waits for action. That is the harsh, simple truth. People do not want to hear. We are conditioned to wait until we feel ready. But let me tell you something honest. Most days, you will not feel ready. You will feel tired, uncertain, scared, and maybe even lost. And if you are always waiting for the stars to align or for a lightning bolt of inspiration to strike, you will spend your life on pause while the world moves on without you. The myth of motivation is one of the biggest traps. We believe we need to feel something before we do something. But the opposite is true. Action creates momentum. Momentum builds motivation. And motivation is just a bonus, not a requirement. The real fuel is discipline. The real engine is decision. You get up, you take a step, you show up even when the voice in your head tells you not to. That is where the magic is. Not in the mood, but in the movement. We romanticize the idea of motivation. People think the most successful individuals are constantly inspired, fired up, excited every morning. No, they are not. They just do not give their feelings the power to decide their future. They lace up their shoes and go for that walk. They open the book, they make the call, they try again. Not because they feel like it, but because they decided to. Let's say you want to build something, your health, a business, your skill, your self-worth. If you sit and wait until you feel it, you'll be stuck in the same spot 5 years from now. Action is what breaks the cycle. It interrupts the loop of doubt. The moment you take action, no matter how small, you send a message to yourself. I am in control. That's power. That's how you reclaim your time and your life. The people you see succeeding in silence, they are not chasing a feeling. They are obeying their purpose. They wake up and show up on days that feel heavy, on days that are cloudy, on days that feel like nothing is working. And what do? They act. They try. They keep moving. That is strength. It is not about perfection. It is about consistency in the absence of motivation. Think about how much time gets wasted every day by people waiting to be inspired. They scroll endlessly, looking for a quote, a video, a spark. But all along, the real spark is in doing. You want to feel motivated? Do the thing. You want energy? Start moving. You want clarity? Start working. Clarity never comes from sitting still. It comes from movement. You cannot control how you feel every day, but you can absolutely control what you do about those feelings. You might wake up anxious. You might feel stuck. But action is a bridge that carries you from emotion to intention. You are not helpless. You are not powerless. You are not waiting for a miracle. You are the miracle, and the trigger is in your hands. This is not about pushing yourself to the edge or pretending to be a machine. It is about breaking the illusion that you need perfect timing to begin. You do not. All you need is to start. Just one decision, one task, one brave act, then another. Before you know it, you're moving, you're bidding, you're becoming. That is how change begins. Not when you feel like it, but when you act like it. Discipline is what transforms 24 ordinary hours into something legendary. People talk a lot about talent, luck, and timing, but none of those matter if discipline is missing. You can have the best ideas, the biggest dreams, and all the resources in the world. But if you do not have the discipline to show up every day, to do the work when it is boring, tiring, or inconvenient, you will not go far. Discipline is not about being perfect. It is about being committed to growth, even when everything inside you wants to quit. Most people confuse discipline with punishment. They think it is harsh or joyless, but real discipline is an act of self-respect. It means you care enough about your future to make sacrifices in the present. It means you are willing to delay temporary pleasure for lasting fulfillment. It means you do not let emotions run your day. You let vision guide your choices, and that changes everything. When you are disciplined, you do not need motivation. You do not need someone to hold your hand or push you forward. You become your own driver. You build your own momentum. You create your own rhythm, and that rhythm becomes your power. You start living life on your own terms, not controlled by moods or distractions, but by purpose. Discipline is built in the moments no one talks about. It is waking up when you said you would. It is saying no when it is easier to say yes. It is sticking to your schedule, even when your friends are relaxing or celebrating. It is keeping your promises to yourself, not just to others. That is the part people do not see. They see results. They do not see the hours of self-control that created them. You cannot buy discipline. You cannot borrow it. You build it. One decision at a time. And every time you choose to act with discipline, you build trust in yourself. You begin to believe that you are capable of doing hard things. And that belief becomes your anchor. It keeps you grounded when life shakes you. It keeps you moving when progress is slow. It keeps you consistent when no one's clapping. People often look for shortcuts. They want hacks, quick results, easy wins. But the truth is, discipline is the only real shortcut, because it is the thing that gets you to the finish line when others give up halfway. It is the thing that separates the people who talk about goals from the people who actually achieve them. It is not flashy, but it is powerful. Quiet power, steady power, power that builds legacy, not just popularity. Think of your 24 hours like a canvas. Discipline is the brush that shapes your life into something beautiful. Without it, you just have chaos and color with no structure. With it, you have purpose and pattern. And you do not need to paint the whole masterpiece in one day. You just need to show up every single day and add a little more to it. Even when no one sees, even when no one understands, you keep showing up, because that is what discipline does. It protects your dreams from dying in the hands of distraction. It holds you accountable when your willpower fades. It reminds you that your time is too precious to waste. And the more you practice discipline, the easier it becomes. Not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. You become someone who can be trusted with responsibility, with purpose, with greatness. And that begins with mastering your 24 hours. Not someday, not next month, but today. People are not born extraordinary. They become extraordinary by what they do consistently. That is the secret no one talks about. The people you look up to, the ones who inspire you, the ones who seem to have it all figured out, they were not born with superpowers. They were just ordinary people who decided to act differently. Day after day, month after month. When everyone else gave up, they stayed. When things got tough, they adjusted. When results were slow, they kept showing up. That is what makes someone extraordinary. Not talent, not status, not luck, just relentless consistency. We often think greatness is a gift, that some people are chosen, favored, born lucky. But that is just a comforting lie. The truth is much harder, but far more empowering. Greatness is built. It is built in early mornings, in quiet rooms, in uncomfortable moments when no one else is watching. It is built in the choice to try again after failing, in the decision to keep moving when results are invisible. Extraordinary people do not wait to feel ready. They just begin, and they keep going. Look at any story of someone who has achieved something remarkable. You will find one thing in common: repetition, practice, effort, sacrifice. There is no magic formula, only the courage to keep doing the right thing over and over, long after the excitement has worn off. That is what shapes character. That is what turns average into amazing. And that is what most people miss. They give up too soon. They expect results too quickly. They want shortcuts, and when things take time, they convince themselves they were not meant for it. But you were. You were made for something more, not because of some hidden gift, but because you have the ability to stay committed, to stay hungry, to keep evolving. Extraordinary people do not have less fear. They just have more discipline. They do not avoid failure. They face it and learn from it. They do not chase applause. They chase growth. That is the difference. Consistency is not glamorous. It does not get likes or go viral. It is quiet. It is steady. It is that voice in your head that says, just one more rep, just one more page, just one more day. And every time you listen to that voice, you strengthen your potential. You stretch your limits. You prove to yourself that your actions define you more than your excuses. What you do once in a while will not change your life. What you do daily will. And it is not about doing everything perfectly. It is about doing what you can, with what you have, wherever you are. Some days you will have energy. Some days you will not. Some days you will feel inspired. Most days you will not. But you keep going. You build the habit. You build the mindset. That is how the extraordinary are made. We spend so much time waiting for the big opportunity, the perfect moment, the breakthrough. But here is the truth. The real breakthrough is your consistency. It is your refusal to give up. It is your commitment to your vision, even when it feels far away. You become extraordinary not because you did something once, but because you did it 1,000 times, and got better each time. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is not a giant leap. It is 1,000 tiny steps taken with purpose. It is the decision to improve 1% every day. It is the discipline to stay the course, even when no one claps. And that kind of consistency is in your hands. It is a choice you make every morning. In how you use your 24 hours, in how you treat your time, in how you invest in yourself. Sleep on your dreams too long, and they turn into regrets. That is the truth no one wants to admit. We think we have time. We think we can start tomorrow, or next month, or when things settle down. But dreams do not wait. Life moves forward whether you are ready or not. And if you keep hitting snooze on your potential, you will wake up one day to realize the opportunity has passed, the passion has faded, and what once lit a fire inside you has become a dull ache of what could have been. Dreams are delicate things. In the beginning, they are loud. They speak to you clearly. They keep you up at night with excitement. But the more you ignore them, the quieter they become. They do not vanish overnight. They just slowly slip into the background until you barely remember them. That is the danger of waiting too long. You convince yourself it is just a delay, but delays become habits, and habits shape your life. It is easy to fall into the trap of overthinking. You plan, you prepare, you research, and you tell yourself that you are just being smart. But there is a line between preparation and procrastination. When you cross that line, the dream starts decaying. It does not need perfection to grow. It needs action. It needs belief. It needs your willingness to start messy and figure it out as you go. People often think the dream has to be perfect before they begin. They want to have all the answers, all the resources, all the confidence. But dreams do not need perfect conditions. They just need a beginning. Every big success you see started as something awkward, uncertain, and incomplete. The difference is someone chose to wake up to it instead of putting it back to sleep. Fear is one of the main reasons people keep sleeping on their dreams. Fear of failing, fear of being judged, fear of not being good enough. But here is the thing. Fear will always be there. It never leaves. The key is not to wait for it to go away, but to move anyway, to act in spite of it. Because when you take the first step, fear starts to shrink, and confidence begins to grow. Another reason people delay is because they think they are too young or too old. They feel they do not have enough experience, or that their time has passed. But dreams are not bound by age. They are bound by urgency. As long as you are alive, it is not too late. What matters is not when you start, but that you start at all. Every day you delay, the gap between who you are and who you could be gets wider. Sometimes the world around you does not understand your dream. People will doubt you, question you, or even laugh at you. But that is not a reason to stop. That is a reason to keep going. Because your dream was not given to them. It was given to you. And you have a responsibility to honor it, to nurture it, to fight for it. You are not promised unlimited chances. Some doors will only open once. Some paths will only be clear for a short time. If you keep sleeping on your dream, someone else will live it while you watch. Not because they were better, but because they were brave enough to try. Regret does not come from failing. It comes from never starting. From knowing deep down you had something special and choosing to do nothing with it. From realizing too late that the only thing standing between you and the life you wanted was action you never took. Small daily decisions hold more power than big life plans. That is something most people never realize until it is too late. We are always chasing the big moment, the perfect opportunity, the once-in-a-lifetime chance, the dramatic breakthrough. But life does not work like a movie. There are no dramatic background scores when change happens. Real transformation is silent. It happens in the choices you make when no one is watching. It is not about the big idea. It is about the daily execution. Every morning when you wake up, you are making choices. Whether you pick your phone or your journal, whether you snooze your alarm or get out of bed, whether you eat something healthy or convenient. These decisions feel small, they feel harmless, but they are not. They are votes for the kind of person you are becoming. And over time, those votes stack up. They build your habits. They shape your identity. They define your future. People say they have big goals. They want to build businesses, transform their lives, be more confident, get healthier. But when you look at their daily actions, they do not align. And that is the real gap. The disconnect between dreams and discipline. A big plan on paper means nothing if your daily actions betray it. You can write down your goals in gold ink, frame them on your wall, but if you are not making micro decisions every single day that move you forward, they are just decorative lies. Success does not come from doing one big thing right. It comes from doing the small, unglamorous, repetitive things right over and over again. It is brushing your teeth daily, not just getting them whitened once. It is saving a little money every week, not waiting for a jackpot. It is showing up to your goal every day, even if progress is slow, especially when progress is slow. Because that is where most people quit. Not when it is hard, but when it feels boring. There is power in boring. There is power in repetition. Because your brain, your mindset, your behavior, these things are shaped not by inspiration, but by routine. Consistency is the mother of results, not intensity, not motivation, just small, daily, boring, consistent action. That is what builds discipline. And discipline builds dreams. Look at any successful person. The ones who have done something remarkable, who live with peace and purpose. Their secret is not a massive breakthrough. It is what they do every day. It is their habits. They learned how to win the day, not just the year. And they understood that how you live your hours is how you live your life. So ask yourself, what do your daily decisions say about your direction? Most people underestimate the compound effect. They think, one cheat day won't matter, or skipping one workout is no big deal. And in isolation they are right. But life does not happen in isolation. It happens in patterns, in layers, in repetitions. You do something once. It is a choice. You do it every day. It is who you are. That is why the tiniest decision, whether to give up or try again, whether to speak kindly to yourself or criticize yourself, matters more than you think. Do not wait for a life-changing moment to start living with intention. Make your daily decisions sacred. Make them deliberate. What you choose today becomes your habit tomorrow, and your identity next month. The difference between the person you admire and the person you are right now. It is not talent. It is not luck. It is a series of small decisions they kept making when no one clapped for them, when no one saw their effort, when the result was not instant. They did it anyway. And so can you. Wasting time is easy. Using it wisely is an art. That is the battle we all fight every single day. It takes no effort to waste time. You can do it with your eyes closed. A few minutes on your phone, a meaningless scroll, a conversation that leads nowhere, a task postponed until later. Before you know it, the day has slipped through your fingers like sand. You look back and wonder where it went. But when you try to use time wisely, when you try to shape your day with purpose, suddenly it becomes difficult. Suddenly you are faced with distractions, excuses, temptations. That is because intentional living is a skill. It requires awareness, honesty, and control. You have to be aware of where your time is going. Most people do not realize how much time they lose because they are not paying attention. They say they are busy, but if you track their day, it is full of empty moments. Time spent reacting instead of creating. There is a difference between movement and progress. You can be moving all day and still be stuck in the same place. Using time wisely is about knowing what actually matters and giving that your energy first. We glorify being busy. We fill our schedules to the edge, thinking that means we are productive. But productivity is not about doing more. It is about doing what matters. It is cutting through the noise and going straight to the core. You can finish 10 tasks and still feel empty if none of them align with your purpose. You can have a full calendar and an unfulfilled heart. Using time wisely is not just about getting things done. It is about getting the right things done. The problem is that wasting time feels good in the moment. It gives instant relief. It is comfortable, easy, relaxing. But that comfort comes with a cost. The cost is your potential. The cost is the regret you feel later when the opportunity has passed, when the deadline has come, when someone else did what you only thought about. That is the weight of wasted time. You do not feel it while wasting it. You feel it when it is gone. To use your time like an artist, you have to start designing your days, not letting them happen to you, but shaping them before they begin. That means setting boundaries, not just with people, but with your own habits. That means saying no to things that steal your focus, even if they are easy or entertaining. That means learning to sit with discomfort, because growth lives in discomfort. Every moment you resist the easy path, you strengthen the muscle of discipline, and that muscle gives you freedom. There is something sacred about people who protect their time. You can see it in the way they walk, the way they talk, the way they carry their vision. They are not rushing, but they are never idle. They are not busy, but they are never wasting. Their time is invested, not spent. They treat each hour like it matters, because they know it does. They know that how you spend your time is how you spend your life. It is not about perfection. It is about practice. Every day is a canvas, and your choices are the brushstrokes. Some days will be messy. Some days will be quiet. But if you are intentional, they will all be meaningful. You do not need to change your whole life overnight. You just need to start paying attention. Start valuing the minutes, the pockets of time you once threw away. That is where the transformation begins. Not in the big moments, but in the small ones. You stop taking for granted. You do not find time. You create it, protect it, and prioritize it. That is the mindset shift that changes everything. Most people go through life believing they are at the mercy of their schedule. They say they are too busy, that they have no time for their goals, their health, their dreams. But time is not something that hides from you. It is not lost. It is spent. And how you spend it is your decision. Time is not something you wait for, it is something you take control of. We all have the same 24 hours. That will never change. What makes the difference is what you choose to fill them with. You cannot keep blaming the clock for your lack of progress. It is not the hours that are missing. It is the priorities that are misaligned. Every time you say yes to something, you are saying no to something else. And if you are not careful, you will end up saying no to the things that matter most. People often imagine they need more time to succeed, but what they really need is better focus. The world is full of distractions designed to steal your attention. Social media, notifications, gossip, meaningless tasks, they all fight for your time. And if you do not protect your schedule, the world will fill it for you. That is why people get to the end of the day feeling drained and unfulfilled. They were busy, but not productive, active, but not aligned. Creating time is not about finding a secret gap in your day. It is about being intentional. It is about looking at your calendar and asking, what can I remove? What can I reduce? What truly matters right now? It means making time for the things that move you forward. Even if it is just 30 minutes a day. You do not need 10 extra hours. You just need to stop letting your day be ruled by things that do not deserve your energy. Protecting your time also means setting boundaries. It means learning how to say no without guilt. It means understanding that not every request is your responsibility, and not every distraction deserves your attention. When you value your time, other people start valuing it too. You teach the world how to treat your priorities by how you treat them yourself. You also have to prioritize time like it is currency. Because it is. Every minute you spend is a minute you never get back. Spend it on things that give you a return, that build your skills, that feed your soul, that bring you closer to who you are meant to be. Stop treating time like it is infinite. It is the most limited thing you have, and yet most people spend it more carelessly than they spend their money. Sometimes the biggest breakthroughs come not from doing more, but from doing less with more focus. Cut the clutter. Simplify your day. Create space for thinking, for learning, for creating. Do not wait for the perfect moment to begin. Use the time you have now, however messy it looks. You can build something meaningful even in small pockets of time, if you are consistent and committed. When you start owning your time, you start owning your life. You realize that you are not a victim of the clock. You are its master. You can choose to waste your hours, or you can choose to turn them into progress. And that choice is made moment by moment. Every single day is a blank page. Every hour is a tool. You do not need more time. You need more clarity about what truly matters, and the courage to live by that clarity.
Looking through the window of a crowded train, faces blurred like memories in the rain. Searching for a moment I can claim. Life keeps moving, never quite the same. Whispers of the past echo in my ear, silent words that only I can hear. Time's a river swiftly flowing near. Each new day brings both hope and fear. Lost in thoughts that come and go, wondering where they all will flow. Dreams and doubts in quiet show. In this journey we all grow. Raindrops tapping gently on the glass. Moments fade, no matter how we grasp. In the silence of the days that pass, we find truth in questions we still ask. Lost in thoughts that come and go, wondering where they all will flow. Dreams and doubts in quiet show. In this journey we all grow. Eyes closed tight to see inside a world where secrets like to hide. Truths emerge from where they bide, in the heart where feelings ride. The train moves on through night and day, carrying dreams along the way. Each window frames a fleeting play, a story lived then swept away.